read one of my articles and really enjoyed it. So I'm going to brush my shoulders off because we have with us Grandmaster and Economist Ken Rogoff. Ken, are you still chief economist at the IMF? Is that what I'm looking at?
Been a beat since then.
It's been a beat, yeah. So why is it
I'm
still on Wikipedia?
I'm a professor at Harvard.
You're a professor at Harvard
I was
now.
chief economist a while back. But your book was fantastic, honestly. I really enjoyed it.
I did not pay him to say that, folks. So very glad to hear you say that, of course. I know you're short of time, and we can talk certainly about economics and the like, but how much are you following the chess scene? And love to get your thoughts on this position in front of us between the two ladies.
I actually can't see the position.
All right, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. If we could pull it up, please, so that we can have that perspective, not just of an economist, but but a grandmaster. And that's not an easy feat.
Well, I'm looking.
You know? You can see it here, but don't worry. They'll pull it up for us. And here we go.
Amazing.
Certainly a wild position. And are you following chess these days? Are you a fan?
I'm absolutely a fan.
Yes.
And
once a player, always a player.
I'm addicted to chess, and so I don't play, but I follow tournaments and what's going on, and I love the game. And it's wonderful what's happening with chess. It's really exciting with not just with the internet and such, but how live play is doing. It's really surprising. I quit chess. I thought it would die with computers. I wrote an article in Chess Life and Review in 1979 saying, well, I'm stopping because the computers are just getting so good. It doesn't seem like a path to me. And that was wrong. I was wrong about that. We've learned a lot from computers, but chess is really exciting for sure. The faster time limits make a difference. If they had adjournments like in my day, I mean, when I played in the interzonal, you'd sleep the night and study the position and forget that. But not having adjournments is actually and this faster play, you get so many more decisive games. People make mistakes, but they make so few mistakes. It's incredible how good the quality of play is here.
We see that you're definitely still a fan.
Oh, totally.
Now, there's going to be a conference here that I believe you're speaking at in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about your involvement with the Wall Street Gambit, it's called.
No, it's fantastic. I'm certainly here and there in support of chess and, trying to help out. This is a great event where it's coming to New York. I mean, as you well know, what's happening in St. Louis is wonderful, but being in New York has the world press and has so much interest. I have a book coming out in May where for the first time I'm really making use of chess in how it shaped my thinking, and it looks at the world economy and the dollar and interest rates and stuff like that, financial crises. But absolutely how it's not heavy-handed, I think, but how chess shaped my thinking. And I think if you're a chess player and you read it, you would see that.
Well, given that you endorse my book so heavily, I'm going to have to get yours. Tell us the title.
The title is Our Dollar, Your Problem. It's a famous quote from a U.S. Treasury Secretary under Nixon where we used to trade our dollar for gold, believe it or not, if you could get gold for the dollar. And Nixon, he was the U.S. president in the late 60s, early 70s, he said, forget about it. And the Europeans were going, what? And his Treasury Secretary had a meeting with them and the Japanese and the Canadians, and he said, sorry, it's our dollar, it's your problem. And the thing is, it was our problem too. We had huge inflation. I didn't know Donald Trump was going to win when I was writing the book, but I couldn't have chosen a better title.
Okay, well, fascinating stuff. Let's get back to the chess position as we talk a little bit more. How do you see these connections? I wrote about it in my book, of course, Move by Move, the connections between chess and many topics in life. The Wall Street Journal article that you first read that an excerpt of my book was taken on was on the topic of risk. And so how do you see risk playing into these kinds of chess decisions and also economic decisions as well?
Well, I think it's, unless you're Magnus, you're taking risks. I mean, most of us can't see that everything in the position. You're making calculated risks all the time. But one piece of it that's unique to chess is you're making decisions about your opponent too. Like how much time do they have? What kind of position are they good at? Where are they comfortable? I mean, I think one of the things that's very common in sports, but definitely in chess, if somebody makes one bad move, they're likely to make another bad move. I mean, the really great players don't. Somehow just they're ice. Oops, they just play the position on the board. And I think that's true. It's obviously true in investing. You have this idea, you want to stick with it, you don't give it up. You make one mistake, you make another mistake, and how to handle that. I was very proud that I think I never lost 2 games in a row in my short-ish career and play at my games. But I think actually that's very uncommon, that if you play a
Are you saying
player
in tournament play?
in
Chess?
tournament play,
Man,
yeah.
I lost like 4 or 5 in a row. You never lost 2 in a row. What?
I don't think so.
Miro, you?
Done for sure.
But I mean, when you lose a game, it's true in all sports.
Yes.
But when you lose a game, you kind of lose your confidence and stuff. And again, I wasn't at the world championship level. I'm a grandmaster, but the really top players do that. You play somebody like Magnus or Nakamura or Caruana the day after they lost. It's worse than if they hadn't, won. But I think it's very important to be able to pull yourself together. And in economics, you make mistakes. I mean, it's very uncertain. It's hard to get everything right. You can be giving a seminar, you can be giving policy advice, and you get it wrong. And do you freeze up? How do you regroup yourself? In chess, you have to.
I love that because also a chapter in my book on mistakes. And mistakes are not only something to deal with, but also something that teaches you how to be better.
If you're a good teacher. So I think if I had to say the biggest regret from my chess career when I think back is there was a certain bad habit I had when I was, a club player involving accepting double D pawns in exchange for an open C file. It just usually is a bad idea. And I lost that game 3 times, not in a row, but just 3 times. I feel, why couldn't I learn? And of course, it's painful to study your mistakes, see what you did. It's very important in life, to learn from your mistakes. But my mistake was not to learn from my mistakes. I try to do better.
Absolutely. Well, let's just pay just a little bit of attention here as Ju Wen-jun, the women's world champion, playing the challenger. Are we really down to only 29 seconds left for her? It looks like that's the situation. You've been following this, Miro.
Yeah, well, the evaluation shifted a couple of times. She was in a bit of trouble. Then she was much better. Her last move puts us back to kind of, slightly better for black, but very sharp.
With a big decision now for white because, in fact, what is she thinking about? Does she have another move? Then I guess she can sack something on D4.
I guess that's what you have to do. I think that's what you have to do. You have to capture D4 twice.
And but actually with the queen as well, and
Yeah.
accept this position. So she's giving back the exchange.
But she's lost a lot of her advantage. It looked like black. I'm not in front of a computer. It looked like black was better.
Yeah, black. I'm guessing kind of H5 must have been an idea to approve Queen D5 somehow. But what happens after Queen D5, in fact? Is there a move after Queen D5? I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
Very annoying.
She thought, yeah, I'll go H5, and then if you go to H3, then Queen D5
D5
must
is
be winning on
stronger.
a spot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then you have.
She has played Queen H3
Oh,
and
whoa,
Queen
whoa.
D5
And Queen D5, yeah.
instantly played.
Wow.
And
But
now
this is it. This is
and
it.
now F3, but snackable is that pawn, and out of nowhere, black is just looking like she's crushing in this position.
Oh, well, what's happening? King G and King F2.
And she's brought her knight back.
Moving a knight back, by the way, is not what computer has suggested.
Well, especially since there's no threat.
I mean, you could have gone Queen E4 or something. Well, technically the rook is hanging, the queen's hanging, right? So you could go like Queen E4 or something.
Well, that's actually not a totally intuitive move, although you do have that
Just protecting the
potentially
knight.
Queen C2 idea was what would get your queen out of danger. Maybe she missed that because you didn't want to put her queen on the same line as that rook. This now is definitely in that space.
We've returned. Queen G2. Queen G2 apparently is a blunder because computer doesn't like it like at all. I suspect you just moved the queen with black.
We
That-
move the
that-
queen,
that's
gain a
pretty much
tempo.
the recipe.
Also, queen c5, being able to push the pawn could be a problem.
Yeah.
And then also some kind of knight move, but I don't know.
I'm
This
thinking of-
was not clean yet.
I'm thinking of this, Maurice. Like they go to b3.
She's played queen c5. Queen
Queen
c5
c5.
on the board, and the engine loves it. The eval bar is way up. What do you do with an eval bar? What's your eval bar, Ken, in economics? We don't have anything this clean, do you?
I wish we had an eval bar. Maybe someday we will with what AI is doing, but no, we absolutely don't. But it's, I certainly in watching you comment and others, you can see the eval bar, but if you don't know it and you don't know what's coming, you just
You start guessing.
I think it was Vishy Anand said to me once, if you could just tell me 3 times in a game there's some big thing going on,
Yeah.
I'd be just unbeatable. But we don't have that.
No, we don't as yet. And this one is a big time game, as the leader could extend her lead with this last couple of moves, and she's starting to show it now as she's played the knight to f5. And man, knight e3 is a monster threat on the board to have to play against. And now queen to f2. Don't I still like knight e3? Is it a bat? Oh, there's a pin against your queen, so that might not lead anywhere. She's played rook takes e1 with check, rook takes back, and some kind of queen d5 has been played. This looks fantastic right now for black, as black's d-pawn is the story of the game. Down to only 9 seconds to 34. Close to decisive now. Knight back to g1.
Yeah,
You don't want to play that move.
Knight g1. Do you want to win in style, Maurice?
We always want to win.
Knight
in style.
e3 check. I suggest knight e3 check.
She's played d2
Yeah,
instead.
d2 is of course
and
winning.
Ooh, ouch. And now a check, and now queen h1, and
Ay,
that's
ay,
all
ay,
she
ay, ay.
wrote with this move.
Knight-
Oh my goodness, she's coming at her from all angles.
Knight
That
e3.
was nasty. What a crush by Zhu Wenjun. This is why we retired from chess, Ken.
They were very good.
That was absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you, and look into your next book, but your next broadcast way before then. So
Our
pleasure-
dollar, your
pleasure to meet.
problem. Absolutely. We'll be looking for that. Pre-order that, folks. This man has got a lot of great ideas. Ken Rogoff, professor now at Harvard. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.